So I'm here. I just want to show y'all a quick video on how I'll be setting up for Supreme Dunks this week. It's actually fairly easy. It's not too difficult. I'm gonna show y'all the same exact setup that I will be using. I use this setup every single week. I hit every single week with Supreme. I didn't run that much last season because a lot of the items that they had last season was bricks. So to me, it was like worthless. But every single week that I did run, I always managed to get something. Um, and it's the same thing like with this week, the week that just passed. I was able to cop 4 of the box logos and a pair of the Air Forces. Prior to that, which as you can see right here, prior to that, I was able to cop some Mariah Carey tees, 4 Chucky dolls. I have more box logos. It's only showing 2 box logos, but I was using another Mekpreme on a different computer, so I was able to actually cop more than what they show here. You also could see like a bunch of Air Forces, a bunch of Air Maxes that they had. It was actually fairly easy. But once you get this setup down packed, is really easy. So the first thing that you want to do with this is you want to set up your profiles. You want to set up your profiles. So when you set up your profiles, right? You want to jig your information. You want to jig your email address. Each profile that you make needs to have a different email address. It needs to have a different phone number. Also, when you're creating your profile and you're setting up your billing address, here's exactly how I jig my billing address, and it works for me every single time. So the first thing that I do is I always use the 4-letter jig, which is 4 random letters. Then I'll put my address. So I'm going to use, this is an example address, 123 example Avenue, apartment. Let's say my apartment is 2121, right? So this is one jig that you could use, but there's a better jig because this jig right here normally gets detected. So I actually have another jig that I currently use, which it includes me using this apartment right here, but I also I'll put right here, I'll put suite 2121. So now it says NJSD 123 Example Avenue Suite 2121, and I also keep 2121 right here just in case something might happen with the package, where this line may be too long and it might cut off your address, so you still have your apartment here. Or I might change this to put floor door 2121. Or I might change it to put suite floor 2121. Every time I do this, I always check out. Another thing that is like really crucial when it comes to Supreme, you have to put, for every profile, I cannot stress this more than enough. For every single profile that you have to have a different email and a different phone number. That's mandatory, because if you don't, they will detect it, and more than likely, from what I see, from my experience, that you'll get a duplicate order. Another thing that I noticed that works best is Eno cards. So if you have a Capital One card, Capital One Eno. If you have a Capital One card, you're able to make Eno cards. So the thing is with Eno is the only thing it's a virtual credit cards. It's similar to Privacy, but they work much better than Privacy. Privacy does not work on Supreme, so do not use privacy cards. They do not work. Eno cards work pretty well. Eno cards, with Eno, you're able to make as many virtual credit cards as you want for Supreme. With Eno, the card locks to the website. So you will go to Supreme, you will go through the checkout process, and you'll create an Eno card right at the checkout process. And then you just press refresh and do it again. You don't go through with the checkout, you're just making as many Eno cards as you want. Eno cards work really, really well, especially with this jig, with jigging your address like this, or um, it just works really, really well, and I'm always able to check out a lot of items. So as you can see, this is all I have on my page, like Eno 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it goes down because Eno works really, really well, and that's where I get like the most success using Eno. So that's just part of it. Now let's go back to the task. When you're creating a task, from what I noticed that works well, you want to use all the modes: browser normal, um, request. Wait, let me see what it is. It's browser safe, browser normal, super, and API. API normally doesn't work, but you still should throw in a few tasks. Browser safe and browser normal, 9 times out of 10, it's going to work. So I recommend to always use that. Now, here's how you know how many tasks to create. So with browser mode, they tell you what's the maximum amount of browsers you should create for that your computer can handle. Mine's can hold 12. It can handle 12. So every Supreme release, I always use the maximum amount of browser tasks, which is 12. And then I create some requests, some super tasks, I create some API tasks, but I always use 12. And I always start my task literally 2 minutes early. This is because when you're using the maximum amount of browsers, it takes your computer some time to create these browsers. And you don't want to start your task 30 seconds before the drop, and your browsers take a long time to create, and then you miss the initial drop. You don't want to do that. So I always start my task approximately 2 minutes early, and I started at a high delay. So I'll put, like, let's say 10,000 delay, knowing that I'm not going to use the 10,000 delay, but I started off at the 10,000 delay, and then I gradually drop it to 7,000, then to 3,000, and then literally 10 to 5 seconds before the drop, I will drop my delay down to 700, and I'll click monitor, and I always hit by doing this. I always drop my delay to 700. I don't drop it any lower than 700. I don't go to 0 to 500, 100. No, I drop it to 700, and I just let the task run. So in regards to the task, as to, a lot of people be wanting to know what checkout delays are you using, what proxies are you using. I mainly use my local host. For all my browser mode, I always use local host because, to me, like, I feel like it checks out faster. You should not use ISP proxies because they do not work. Well, from what I see in my personal experience, ISPs doesn't work. From what I'm told, residential proxies work. I haven't had a chance to test it, but my local host works best. You should always. I feel like with Mac, you probably can run it on a server, but just having it on your actual computer and running it, checking out off of your actual IP address and not a server IP address, gives you like better chances. That's my opinion. That's how I feel. So let's say this is how I'm going to create the task. I'm gonna put dunk. I'm gonna just this is just random. I'm gonna select one. I'll put plus dunk. Local host. I always you scroll down, put shoes, random. The reason why you want to put random because you want to maximize the chances that you have. You don't want to put you want the black dunks and you want a size 9 and the black dunks. Now, what if those sell out? You want your bot to try to process another color or another size. So I'll leave it at random. I put 1, browser safe. Now for my checkout delay, for this one, I might put 11111. I'll create it. For the next task, I'll change my profile and I change the delay 1222. I'll create it. For the next one, I change my profile. I change the delay again 1333. And I keep doing it, so on. I do it again to the next one. So each task that I have, they all have different checkout delays. Not one task have the same checkout delay. And I don't always use one. I don't always use 1555555. I might use 13456 or 1984 or 2218, something like that. I always use different numbers, different random numbers. I never try to stay with one number of 500, 750, 1000. I always use different numbers because I feel like that gives me like greater odds. Also, I forgot to tell y'all, make sure you have on your retrial and failure, because this is just in case your bot has like an error or it fails to check out, it'll actually restart the task automatically. But that's basically how I'm going to set up. And lastly, the very last thing that I do recommend is I don't recommend using ISP proxies because, in my opinion, from my experience, they don't work. But in your proxy browser, not your proxy browser, and for your Captcha harvester. Okay, for your Captcha harvester, do not use AYCD autosolve. Do not use it. From what I see, it does not work. That's just my opinion. It might work for y'all. It doesn't work for me, so I don't use it. I always use their in-app Captcha harvester. I always create 4, but for the purpose of the video, I'm only going to create 1. Now in this, what I do here is I might have a couple ISP proxies, and I only use those proxies inside of my Captcha harvester. I don't use it anywhere else. Only use those in the Captcha harvester. This is because for some reason those proxies give me 1 clicks. I never ever run into captchas when I'm using ISP proxies. So in here, I believe I have some Leaf ISP proxies. So that's basically what I use in the Captcha harvester. I create 4 Captcha windows, and I put 3 proxies in each Captcha harvester, and I leave 1 open for localhost. So this is like, I'm getting like really good chances of all my tasks solving the captchas extremely fast, and I'm not overwhelming myself. Just in case I might have to solve a captcha, I'm able to solve it fast. But that's what I recommend. Like for me, this setup, it works perfect, and I'm fine. Like I always check out with it. And another thing, you make sure you have release on. And that's about it. That's it. It's just that simple. It's easy. It's not hard. And you'll be able to check out. Hopefully everybody be able to get 4, 5, 6 pairs. You know, we know that might not happen, but it's a possibility that it can happen. And I just wish everybody good luck. Thanks for watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and get back to me. Leave a comment.